Darshan is standing by with a roundup of how corporate India had fared in the quarter gone by. And Darshan, at least if you look at the Nifty 50 companies that seem to be, compared to estimates, more hits than misses, but India Inc., or at least the sell side, has downgraded the earnings picture. What's happened?
Yeah, so basically they consider their stock of universe. We're just focusing on the Nifty 50, so that will be the big change that is there. Some like a Kotak takes the Sensex 30, CLSA has taken their coverage into focus, Motilal Oswal has taken their coverage. So it matters. We are dealing with the Nifty 50, and the reason we say either it's an above estimate, inline estimate, or below estimate is simply on the Bloomberg consensus estimates. We take the financials into consideration, not so much in terms of, we take a little bit of commentary, but the number is something that we take a look at. Now basically the green ones are the ones that have come out with a strong set of numbers. A couple of financials, couple of oil companies there, construction companies, cement, auto, metals as a pack did extremely well. Among the mid caps, among the inline set of numbers, a lot of private sector banks is something that you can see. And on the weak side, oil and gas companies, you had a couple of auto companies and couple of pharma companies that were there that made a part of it. And as usual, Axis Bank and ICICI, again a weak set of numbers. So again, after the third quarter, they again feature, even in the fourth quarter they feature here. Now in terms of what's happened from the last year, same quarter to now, so what we've seen is that the number of strong companies has gone down on a year-on-year basis, but if you see, there has been a gradual improvement over quarter and quarter. The number of strong companies have come down. The number of inline has also had peaked out but has come off, and the number of weak companies has also come up. So it's been a rather mixed quarter this time around, but if you see the graphs, you can see that at least the green and yellow lines are much above the red line. So it's been an inline to slightly decent set of quarter this time around. Now let's take a look at first which were the strong performers. Cement did extremely well, but there's just one company, Ultratech, in the cement. Construction did well, and there is only L&T here. Couple of consumer companies did well, financials did well, and metals did well. So these are the strong sectors among the companies that did well. And on the weak side, you had auto, oil and gas, and pharma. So Neeraj, this is the broad sector-wise performance.
So let's take a closer look at the sectors, Darshan, and try and dissect that performance.
Yeah,
right?
So we'll take a look at some of the sectors. Now auto, not so good this time around. Eicher, weak set of numbers, even as sales were up. Maruti, it was a weak quarter for the first time since the first quarter of 2017. So Maruti's always come out with strong or inline set of numbers, and again JLR performance dents the earnings for Tata Motors. So not the best of season for the automakers this time around. Both Mahindra and Bajaj, both of them operationally a strong set of performance came in. Hero was in line. So autos more misses than gains this time around. Cement, yes, it was a very strong quarter. Ultratech quarter after quarter comes out with strong set of numbers. Higher volume growth, cost efficiency helped Ultratech. So the only cement companies, ACC and Ambuja, are out. So this did well. The next sector that we want to speak about is the construction sector, and only L&T is there. Initially BHEL was there, it was out. So only infrastructure capital goods space is represented by L&T. Strong operational performance, but the management commentary had a bit of caution there. Even though they came out with a strong guidance, there was a hint of caution there. So, but nevertheless, the numbers were good. Now you're coming to the FMCG and consumer discretionary. The rural consumption continues to improve significantly. Volume growth was there on a favorable basis. So you had all your companies, you had the Titans, HULs, all these companies in the FMCG space that did extremely well in trade. The next sector is oil and gas, which was rather weak. Upstream companies failed to report strong numbers. Despite crude moving up, probably this quarter you might see the move come in, but upstream companies didn't do well. BPCL was the only company on the oil marketing company that posted a strong number after 3 muted quarters. HPCL and IOC were in line set of numbers. The next sector that probably we want to talk about is the banking space. Now both Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Finserv did extremely well. Robust growth, strong outlook was seen. Strong financial from SBI, Yes Bank. Private sector bank, Yes Bank was the only one that managed to outperform. The others were in line. PSU, SBI, the financials were good. The asset quality quality was decent, the commentary was decent, and disappointing earnings again from ICICI Bank and Axis Bank. So this is what happened as far as the sectors were concerned. TCS was the biggest one that did well, strong numbers. Stock managed to rally 10% post the numbers. Infosys, Wipro, HCL in line to slightly weak set of numbers, but the commentary was rather weak and rather cautious. So TCS was a clear outperformer as far as the IT firms were concerned. Metals, all the metal companies did well. Higher volumes, commodity prices were much higher. Overall, you name the metal company, it did well. Coal India, Tata Steel, Hindalco, all of them did well. And on the BHARTI, on the telecom side, Bharti Airtel did well. Strong Africa business was there. The better than expected India ARPU. So it seems that it's bottoming out after the Jio effect. And tenancy exits due to consolidation, among the service provider, dented the performance of Bharti Infratel. So basically, this is what's happening. The other sector is pharma. Sun was the only one that did well. Strong financials, strong outlook, but the others, weak set of numbers, and they expect pricing pressure to play out in FY19. So the outlook also was rather weak for the other pharma companies also.
So let's stack it up into numbers, Darshan. How does the overall earnings growth for FY18 look like?
Yeah, so we've seen a 9% EPS growth this time around. FY17, the actual number was 455 with the Nifty 50. For FY18, it was almost 496. Which means a 9% growth that is there, and this is according to the calculation that we have done at BloombergQuint. So that's the number that's come out. If you see what the estimate is, FY19 we are seeing expecting a growth, we are expecting a number of 596, and for FY20 it will be 711. So a decent growth is expected, but nevertheless, when the street was expecting it will be tough. Nifty 50 still gave a growth of 9% on an FY19 basis. So basically this is the estimates that were there, and this is the actual that has happened in terms of the profit. From a profit of 2.74 lakh in 2014, that is FY14, we moved to almost 3.54 lakhs. So on a year-on-year basis, the growth has been rather decent, at least for the last 3 years.